Welcome to Hot Garbage.
Hello and welcome to Hot Garbage, where we are the only trash talk that matters. I'm your host, Laura, and my AC might be fixed.
Yay!
Yay!
Right now, it's blowing out air. We're pretty sure it's cool air. It seems to be cooling down in here. It seems like I have my air conditioning back, and it really only took a week. I definitely thought that they were lying to me when they said it was only going to take a week.
Well, I'm glad they weren't.
Yeah.
Less
great
angry
news.
Laura this week.
Yeah, much less angry. And luckily I get to have my TV volume down so the people above me aren't going to be upset that I have my volume at like 14 at like
Yay!
midnight watching a movie going, I'm so sorry. I can't hear it any other way. And if you came down here to yell at me, I get it.
They came down and yelled at you?
No, they never did. No,
Oh, okay, good.
no. I think that they understood what was going on because I mean, we're right in the front and you can see it like sticking out of our window. You know what I mean? So I think they understood what was going on because they never once said anything. And I'm like, I promise I'll go back to having my TV at a normal volume for you. I promise.
I like that 14's loud for you. Like I normally have mine at like 20.
When I watch a movie, I put mine at 35.
That's insanity. I think everybody needs to get their hearing checked because Keenan also listens to things incredibly loud. And I was like, does everyone not understand hearing? And that you have these things and once they're bent and like fucked up, like they don't grow back. Like that's just the end of it. Henceforth, how you go deaf.
Yeah.
To wear earphones a lot at a level.
Hearing loss, yeah.
Yeah.
I already am.
That's where her tone deafness comes from. Mine comes from something else. Hers comes from going actually deaf. Yeah, no, I have my volume literally usually my television's at like a 10 during the day. Like at night I usually turn it down to like an 8. If you're my neighbors, just so you know, if you can hear it, it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with the construction of the building. Yeah, so let's get into motherfucking share time. I'm gonna go first because I watched movies.
Yeah!
I didn't watch a television show for once. I'm consuming things at a normal rate now, guys, all right? I'm still in watching Melrose Place. I'm still in season 5 out of like 7 of Melrose Place, okay? I'm watching it at a normal rate. Let's get that out in the open.
Well, there's a lot more episodes of that, right?
No, in the amount of time that I did Grey's Anatomy, it doesn't matter what else happens.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's what our gauge is, okay?
Good point.
So I watched movies, and I've been like toying with the idea of trying Saw again. And if you guys have been here, you know that there are 2 movies that scared the living fucking shit out of me, no matter how many times I've seen it. One of them is The Descent. I've seen the beginning of The Descent a million times. As soon as like the pickaxe and like the creatures, I'm out. Like I leave the movie. Like I can't do it.
Such a good movie, guys.
It just terrifies me. And then the other one that terrifies me is the first Saw movie, and that's because I think it's unholy. I really think it's unholy because turns out like I guess like we have to look up the story. Like Tyler, actually, while I'm telling this, like fact check me, like go to like their Wikipedia page.
All right.
So it's the Saw franchise. So the 2 people who made it, their names are like No, I get everybody's names wrong. I'm pretty sure it's James Wan.
Why is everybody James
Wan? Yeah.
Yeah, James Wan. And the other guy's like Lee Wannell. I'm not even saying his last name right, and I know I'm not. I don't know. 1L. I'm not sure.
Nope, that's right.
Yeah. So the 2 of them made this Saw movie, and no one would make it for like 8 years or something like that. And I'm not sure how many years. That's the other reason I wanted Tyler to fact check me. But it was like for a lot of years. So they end up making like a short film. and they end up like shopping it around trying to get like funding for this movie. It takes them forever to get funding for this movie, and then all of a sudden gets funding for this movie, all of a sudden makes this movie, and now it's like this huge thing. So I believe that the first movie is unholy because they made a Crossroads deal with the demon to make it a blockbuster phenomenon. And then whatever happened from there happened from there. But I believe that's why I believe the first movie is unholy, because at the age of 32, I watched it. And I'm still scared. Like,
It's a great movie though. And then like the whole story of the whole all movies, I think it's interesting.
yeah. So the first movie I watched, and I watched it all the way, and I knew which parts were gonna scare me, and they scared me. And it's when he's like in the bed sheet, like standing over the girl, terrifying.
Mhm.
When he's like looking through the closet at them, terrifying.
Mhm.
When the pig mask motherfucker is coming out of the one car, um out of like the back of the car, and he's like looking at the front of his car, and he takes him from behind, and like you see the car door slowly opening and shit. That's etched into my brain in the same way that the it face that came out the shower curtain that time. All right, that. So I watch it though, and I was like, okay, like I'm actually like cool. Like they have the other ones. I'm gonna go to the other one. I've seen the second one like 100 times, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch the second one. Like I actually like the second movie.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Good.
I'm gonna watch it. And I love Donnie Wahlberg, so I watch it. And I was like, cool, everything happened. I realized a couple things like watching the first one and then watching the second one. Like I didn't realize that Detective Lady was the same Detective Lady for all the movies because I've never seen it like that.
Mhm.
So I had seen some of the third movie. I hadn't seen all of the third movie, or I just like blocked out half of it. So from like the third movie on, I was experiencing something new. And I have to say that the first two movies, like you need to watch because it sets up a lot. But the first two movies feels like a setup. And then the rest, like 7 of them, like the 3 to 7 or whatever, is the most phenomenal story that I've ever like watched. Like I'm so serious when I tell you that like just the story of Saul between like the Jigsaw guy and how he has cancer and what goes on with him and like the insurance and like all like the inner workings. You find out why all these people are picked for the games. Like
Mhm.
it's this absolutely like mind fucking crazy story. And once you get past like the gore, like you have to I feel like the story is almost covered up by like how gory it is because it's a really good story.
Mhm.
And like there's like accomplices, there's like it's really good. Like the first 7 movies, like it's a really good story, but I feel like it's overshadowed because of how gory it is.
Mhm.
That people don't realize that there's like this really good story being told behind it. Like
Yeah.
you find out that like the insurance company screwed him out of something that would have maybe helped him live. You find out like it's like you find out why all these people are picked, and you find out like that this one girl's supposed to help them, and it's like all of this stuff, and like you almost really like Jigsaw. Like you almost like as the movies go on, like you actually like really like this like serial killer murder guy. Like you really like
Mhm.
feel for him because like you see what drives him to do this, you know what I mean? And so then I watched the Jigsaw movie, and that was really good. But Kristen thought I was gonna my best friend Kristen, she's obsessed with him. So she thought I was gonna like that movie way more than I did because of how much I like the other 7 movies. But I said I didn't like it that much, but I know for a fact that if I didn't have anything for 7 years and I got that, I would have been like so hype about it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I
Yeah.
think I came off the high of like 7, like the end of 7, that it just didn't hit the same. And then so Keenan was here watching some of them with me, and it took me a little bit to realize because he doesn't like these kind of movies. So I'm like, why is he sitting here watching Saw fucking 4 with me? Like, what the fuck? It was hot in the other room, and so he was watching movies with me because it was cool in here because we didn't have AC. I started cracking up when I realized that. But like it's really cool because like they actually have timelines that intersect with each other. You find out that like one movie's happening at the same time of another movie, and it's really good. And how the 7th movie ends, I don't want to say anything because I actually like I experienced something that I think, like, a lot of people should, like, don't look up anything, like, go into it, like, don't look at trailers, just go into it. Because
Yeah.
I was shocked, like, I was texting her at one point, and I was like, "Oh, bye," and then, like, all of a sudden, like, I was like, "Oh, who are these people?" And then I was like, "Oh my god, it's so and so." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" At the end of 7, and if you've seen it, you know
Mhm.
exactly what I'm saying. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So
Like a huge twist.
and I literally texted my best friend Kristen because Kristen knows how much I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's seen some of Buffy on her own. I didn't do that one to my friend. A lot of my friends I forced to watch it with her. And so she watched so I tell her, I was like, "I'm gonna be so for real, watching the end of, like, that 7th movie of, like, the final chapter, Saw the final chapter or whatever, watching, like, that last portion, and you know what I'm talking about? It was like I compared it to season 5's finale of Buffy. If you've never seen it, it's called The Gift, and at the very end of it, this is like a 20-year-old show, and I've talked about the show God knows how many times. Like it's just like it's not a spoiler at
I
this
think
point if
you've
you're
talked
here.
about this finale too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like
you've
it's
probably
not.
spoiled it already.
Yeah. At the end of The Gift, she ends up sacrificing herself and running toward her destiny, which is something that she's been running away from and like accepting that this is what it is. And she ends up sacrificing herself and dying. And at the very end, it's a tombstone. And it says Buffy Ann Summers, the dates. She saved the world a lot. It said some other stuff, but it said like she saved the world a lot. And like I've always said that if that's how they left Buffy, like I would have been so fucking happy. I would have been like, Buffy ran her like, that was the story of Buffy. Like, that's the point, you know what I mean? And so, I literally compared the end like, the whole story of Saw, like, the Saw movies, I was like, "You gave me Buffy the gift." Like, you gave me this epic, beautiful story that was told. You made me fall in love with people that I probably shouldn't have, you know what I mean? And, like, it was just this beautiful overarching story to then end in just such a, like, bomb way, like, if that was how, like, it ended and I was, like, a fan back then, I would've been like, "This was it. Like, this was the finale you coulda given me." You know what I mean? And so, like, I compared it to that because, like, that's how it feels, like, that's the feeling I got, like, you told me the story of Buffy, and it's like, you told me the story of Jigsaw, you know what I mean? And so, I loved it, and I was telling Keenan how much I loved it. So we go, and I can't see Saw 10, the new Saw movie, on anything. It's, like, not on anything. And Keenan was like, "Let's see if it's on Amazon Prime." It's on Amazon Prime. $2 to rent. Keenan's like, "You could that $2 is gonna make you so happy, you can absolutely rent it." I was like, "Fuck yeah."
I love
So
it. Go Keenan.
he was like, "That $2 is gonna make you
Decisions.
so happy, go for it."
You know what, babe? I'll cover this one.
Yeah.
The splurge.
So, the he was like, "I'm gonna fall asleep during this movie." I was like, "You're not fucking falling asleep during Saw 10, like, that's not happening." The only one I didn't see was that Spiral movie, because it apparently has really nothing to do with the whole thing, so I didn't really watch it.
It had something to do with it, I just don't remember what, and then I don't think the following movie had really anything to do with Spiral, so, yeah, you can't
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's just
so I
kind of like
just
a little prequel little thing there.
yeah, so I just kinda skipped it and, like, moved on, and so I was watching Scream 10, and when I tell you, you think things make your skin crawl. I mean, like, there are so many things I can think of from, like, the Saw franchises that I was watching where I'm going like, "Oh my god." Like, I'm, like, shaking. I'm, like, showing, "Oh my god." Like, I'm thinking about the guy getting smushed and and as he's getting smushed, he's trying to stop it,
Mm.
so his bone pops out,
Mhm.
and you
Ooh.
see it, and yeah, and so, like, it's things like this that make your skin crawl. I'm telling you right now, if you've not seen Saw 10, as I've now seen them all in succession over a couple of days, Saw what they do in Saw 10, like, literally makes your skin fucking, like, crawl. Like, I have now like, Keenan was like, "This one is so rough to watch." Like, it is, like, a complete so it's set in, like, that 6 months between the 2nd and, like that like 6 months gap where Eric is missing.
Mhm.
Donnie Wahlberg's character, he's like missing for 6 months. And you know that there's like that 6-month gap between I think like the second and third movie. The 10th movie is set in that time.
Mhm.
And so it is I don't want to because it came out in 2023, so I don't actually want to give any spoilers for it. But I'm going to tell you that it is unlike the other movies as far as
Mhm.
like what these games are. Like maybe I like tell you one and then maybe we delete it.
I've seen it already, so
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
it's pretty gory.
Yeah.
It's good. Mhm.
Yeah. So okay, so we deleted the stuff from that I said because we're not putting that out there. You can go watch it.
So you weren't completely off with the whole like time frame that you were talking about.
Okay.
It says in 2003, Juan and Winnell made a short film to help pitch a potential feature film concept after having the original script written for several years. After numerous unsuccessful attempts to receive funding in their home country of Australia, Juan and Winnell traveled to the United States. After several producers expressed interest in their project, it was ultimately successful, and in 2004, the first installment debuted at the Sundance Film Festival. So
Okay.
realistically, they only spent a year trying to get it made, but they just had it
Okay.
written for years before that.
Okay. It's still unholy. I don't know why. There's something that happened. But genuinely, like those like first 7 movies is like such a beautiful story. Like it's Buffy season 5. Like you gave it to me. And so I loved it. I was actually Kristen didn't think I was gonna like it. And then I came to her and I was like, that was fucking awesome. And she was like, okay.
You actually had
Yeah,
me
so-
wanting to watch them, so
Yeah.
They're good movies.
No, like the story's really good. Like it's like the goriness like gets to me too. Like I watched a girl lop off her arm. Like that stuff gets to me. But after like you have to almost get past it because the story behind it's good.
Mhm.
And like, oh, when you find out about the insurance guy and then they have to do the insurance guy's game is like so good. Cause like how the games work is like it's not just like it's like it used to be in like the first like movie, it was like, oh, one offs almost, it felt like one off little like games. And then like the second one you got like the murder like the gas house or whatever. And then like you would have like a long game with like 5 players playing. And oh, it was good. It was good. I liked the one where it was like the 5 of them that had to work together. That was a good one. Whatever movie that one was.
There's
And you're
so many I
screaming
can't
at the guy, get
remember.
the fuck in the box. like if there's one thing I learned by now of watching these movies, it's when Jigsaw tells you to do something, you do it, and you do it to the literal degree that he's telling you to do it. So if he says get in the box to save your life, get the fuck in the box.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck in the box. Yeah, so that's what I did. I had a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed it. So
nice.
Yay.
I'm happy for you.
yeah. So that's my motherfucking share time. Tyler's had his motherfucking share time since last week, so
Like immediately after we stopped recording. So after we were done here, went and got me some food, like went and reheated some rice that I had already had cooked.
which is safe before people start freaking out.
Yeah. And it's fucking hot in here, so I'm chilling, I'm taking my shirt off, stuff like that. Sitting down, eating my rice. Some of it accidentally drops onto my chest. And then I notice I have 2 white chest hairs growing out of my chest.
Oh.
So I'm like, cool, love that. I'm getting
You feel old.
Yeah. Honestly thought I'd have a better reaction from y'all, but
No.
feels like it wasn't worth all your
I would be so bummed. I'm so nervous the day I find my right hair. Feel it coming.
I'm
not
not
too
worried
bad.
about it. Hillary Burton looks great.
She does.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to look forward to, is what I keep thinking.
Mhm.
Keenan has a bunch of gray hair. Like,
Nick does
like
too.
he has like gray hair.
I've always said I don't mind like having gray hair as long as I still have hair. Like that's all I really
Yeah.
care about at this point.
True.
Yeah. So is that everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry we didn't give you the reaction you wanted.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it.
He's like the dejected stepkid in the corner. He's like, whatever.
I'm a middle child. I'm used to it.
Yeah, there it is. All right, Stephanie, what's your motherfucking share time?
I couldn't think of one.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Guys,
On to the Bachelorette.
before we started, we were like, okay, like, do we have a share time? And Stephanie's like, I don't have a share time. And she's like, I'll think of one. Like, I always end up thinking of one. And so we were like, okay, you'll go last and we can think of one. And here we are.
Literally, I've been watching like Love Island USA. I don't feel like talking about that because like I'm behind. And I read some
I
books.
gave up. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
never gonna get caught up, and I'm stunned. I was getting aggravated how many more episodes I had to go and how many more just kept getting added on top of that. I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
I know. I'm like 10 behind right now. I'm just trying to get through it, but I'm like taking breaks and I've been reading books and the books, they're okay. 1,000 Little Pieces was recommended. Or no, 1,000 Boy Kisses was recommended to me. I did not like it.
It sounds like it sounds like a book I would not
God.
like.
It was so bad. I was like, okay.
It sounds like a sappy book that's supposed to make me cry. That I'm like, I'm supposed to cry at this.
Oh no, I cried. I was pissed when I was crying. I was like, God damn it, this book is just fucking stupid. I hate it. I was so mad. Like every night I would read it, I would have a headache when I would read it because I was just so aggravated by it. And it took me like a week to finish it. And I just like was dreading it. Like, oh my God, I couldn't wait to finish it. I woke up early on Saturday and I finished it. And I gave it like a 3.5. And the book could have been so much shorter. Like literally it just repeats the same shit over and over again about how in love they are, how beautiful Poppy is, how handsome Rune is. I was like, oh my God, please put me out of my misery. Just end the fucking book already. And
I would have DNF'd it.
That was me reading Carrie.
Was Carrie not good?
It's so fucking boring.
It's long.
Really?
I'm gonna be for real. Carrie's long for no reason.
Yeah, and it's
That's
just
how I felt this book is.
It's just so much detail that you don't need to fucking know, and it's like he got paid by the word for that one. Like
that's what that one. Honestly, yeah. Like I've always said that about Carrie. I don't really like horror. I've never really actually like read like the whole. I think any book of Stephen King all the way through.
I've never read any.
I think I've only really attempted like maybe 2. I'm not big on it, and it has nothing to do with him. But yeah, no, it's very long-winded for no reason. It feels like.
And I've heard that's like how he is in general, but
yeah.
I don't like books that go like too deep in description. They really lose me. Like please, like 2 words to describe it, max, and let's like move past it already. I just want to know the story, and so that book was really hard for me to get through. And then I read not the dating game. I think I read that's a different book. I read The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, and that one was so good. Like it was like
Abby Jimenez is so good.
Yeah,
I don't think she wrote a bad book.
This is my very first one I read from her, and it was highly recommended.
Oh, so she's great.
Good.
There's one. It's like Part of Your World, and then there's like another one, and they technically go together.
Yes, I have the second one.
I have the second one, but I don't have the first one, so I haven't read it yet.
Yes, the same here. And so I was like, I've been checking Prime Day all day today to see if like maybe it'll go on sale, but I haven't seen it go on sale. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. I have like a bunch of books I have right now. I'm gonna read those, and then the second book to The Friend Zone is free on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna read that one. And I heard the third one's not that good, so I have a bunch of books like I could read. So I really want to read Part of Your World though, so I can read the one that I already have.
Yours truly, I think, is what it is. Yeah,
And I heard both are really good.
I heard that they're both really good. So I had gotten yours truly because I heard it was really good. So then I had it. And then somebody on like TikTok said like, oh, it's like these technically go together. I was like, well, fucking
I'm
fuck.
exactly like you. Yeah, I'm exactly like you. That's exactly what I did. And I didn't know, and I had it for like a month until I found that out. And I was like, well, thank God I didn't read it.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said too. So I started reading this. It's actually sitting right here. The Summer of Broken Rules.
Oh my gosh, that's on my to be read list.
I love it so far. I'm
Mhm.
57 pages in. I love it so far. I'm like
Mhm.
totally into it so far.
Mhm.
It gave me a family tree in the front, and if you give me a family tree and like I have like a lineage, I'm like, I'm bought.
It's interactive. I love it.
I'm like, I'm in. I have a chart. I'm in. Okay.
I usually see that and just eject.
Yeah.
Just like, nope, too confusing already.
And I'm like, this is great. This is great. I have inner workings.
Tyler, do you see that? And you're like, oh, they have to show me this. There's gonna be too many characters or
Yep.
something like that.
Wow,
Pretty
really?
much.
I'm like I'm gonna show you. Like I saw this. This is hilarious. I saw this and I was bought in, and this is probably like made of his nightmares.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like 2 pages and then, like,
No.
Yeah.
It's just the family. It's
Okay.
just the family. But it's actually way sadder than what I thought. Like I bring it to the beach and I didn't realize that the sister died. And like you know that the sister's dead from like the first moment. So like I don't feel bad saying that.
Mhm.
Like so the sister's dead and I'm like, I brought the wrong book to the beach, didn't I? And so like this like as like they do like little things in like tribute of like the sister. And I like they did like this one thing and I started like literally tearing up at the
Oh
beach.
no.
And I like literally it's not like a sad book. Like it's not meant to be sad. Like it's not like a grieving book or anything like that. Like they dedicated like this game that they're playing to like the dead sister. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like fucked. And like so I started like tearing. I started tearing up at the beach and I like look at Leanne because Leanne came and I look at her and I go, I totally fucking brought the wrong fucking book, man.
I just love the idea of you at a beach with like a margarita and a book, just like
You can't drink on the beaches in New Jersey. Well, I think you can on
On
some,
the
but not on the
beach?
ones that I go to. Yeah.
Dang.
Is that
I think
not
you
the point
can.
of
I think
Jersey
you
Shore?
can like on certain beaches, but the beaches that I go to, you can't drink on the beach.
Mhm.
That's
Wasn't
lame.
And by
that
that
why
I mean you
kids
can't
got
have an open
arrested?
container on the beach. But if I 150% cracked a Corona, put it in a coffee cup, walked it up to the beach, and no one's been any the fucking wiser.
That's what I would, like, probably do or, like, make me a drink in, like, a coffee cup and
We actually
Oh,
like
yeah.
once the beach like starts clearing out and there aren't that many people and whatever, like we'll bring beers down to the beach and like crack them like in the cooler and like put them like in solo cups and like
Mhm.
we'll hang out down at the beach as like the sun is setting, like drinking beer.
Love it.
Yeah, that's how my family goes to the beach.
Love that.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So I'm only like 50 something pages deep, but I'm like bought in.
Mhm.
Like I'm bought into her. I'm bought into her and the guy. Give me a stupid summer romance, and I'm like, I'm a girl.
Same. And the book or, like, the Abby Jimenez one, she's so good at, like, writing a
Yes.
romantic comedy. Like, I feel like I was reading a TV show or a movie, like, I could,
Yes.
like, see it so good in my
She
head.
literally writes television shows like in book form, and
Yes,
you like
exactly.
watch it.
Mhm.
It's like a
Her fun
pictograph
it's
in
so
your head that you
funny.
watch. I don't know how she does it. I love her. I love her.
Mhm. I was
Yeah.
like, literally LOLing, guys. It was
Oh, it's so she
so
is so
good.
funny because she puts comedy in like right at like the right moments and like she
Mhm.
doesn't overdo it. It's so good. I love her. I love her.
Love her.
She can't write
10
a
out of
bad book in
10.
my mind.
That's my first 5-star review I gave on a book this year. I really liked it. So, I guess that's my
Yeah.
share time.
So you gotta share time out of Stephanie.
Yeah.
We made it something after all.
Yeah.
All right, so we did get the Big Brother cast list, but honestly, like Stephanie made a good point that we did this last year and we got everything wrong because how do you go off of just pictures?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's like certain things that like we learned about the cast. Like the one girl, Brooklyn, is like good friends with Aaron Grimes or whatever her fucking last name is. I don't care. I don't want to know. We don't like Aaron.
Okay.
Aaryn. Aaron. That's how you spell it. Aaryn. So Aaron is incredibly racist. And that's just the way it is. On her season, which was season 15, this one guy, Andy, who won the season, he talks about how much he doesn't like her, and I'm going to take his word for it. I sent you guys the one thing that he said to her in the house. She said, "What's the Emancipation Proclamation?" And he said, "You wouldn't like it." And that's like a direct, like, that came from like daily updates. Like he, whoever fucking owns it, I just like women, whoever owns it, whatever. Whoever owns said whatever Twitter, like literally like wrote that's literally what was just said. And Andy came out and took a screenshot, and he just frequently shares it because he's like, I said this and it's really funny, and it is.
It's a great
So
one.
she said, what did she say? She said to Helen, like, go make some rice. And she was Asian. She said something about like, if we don't turn the lights out, you won't be able to see Candace, who is a black woman. Oh God, she did other things. Like that's just two of them. Like she did other things. Like Candace's bed that I just told you about, she flipped the whole mattress and like destroyed her bed once. Why? Don't know.
Just felt like it.
Felt like it, and she was a black woman. Like that's what it felt like, and that's what it probably was. So we don't like her. And so this girl, Brooklyn, whoever she is, I don't remember. She's friends with her. So she's immediately like, that's the company you keep, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I'm already not in. So yeah, so I'm not okay with Brooklyn just for that.
I'm not either now.
Yeah.
Same.
Sorry about it. This one girl that I like, her name's Kat Dunn. She actually did pageants with the girl, and I wanted to like her, but then I found out that she was friends with Aaron, and I was like, sorry, Kat, you're on your own.
How does that name sound so familiar?
If you've seen stuff with Big Brother, especially on TikTok, like she's probably popped up. She has a podcast. She gets like people to come on, because she used to come into rooms and say, "Are you bitches conspiring against me?" and then like leave as like a joke. So her podcast is Conspiring Bitches.
Love it.
So she does that, and she does interviews and like exit interviews and stuff with them.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna skip the cast list, and we're just gonna do The Bachelor, and next week we'll start with the premiere of Big Brother and what's going on.
Sounds good.
So Bachelorette this week was interesting for me because I watched it with both of my parents. Because we didn't have AC, I had hid at my parents all day from the heat, and I'd gone to the beach with them, and I took the dog with me so that way she had central air, and she loved it. She had a great time. That's why she's in here with me, because she's like, thank you so much for bringing me there.
Aww.
So that's why she's in here with me. She's dead asleep on the bed, like at the foot of the bed here. Like she's dead asleep over here.
Love that.
She asked to come in, and she's dead asleep over there. But I watched this with both my parents, and my mom has watched like a little bit of episodes with me, but my dad has never seen an episode. And my dad doesn't like reality TV. So this was especially entertaining with my dad. Mind you guys, my parents are boomers. I don't know if we've ever had this conversation, but my parents are 66 years old.
Yeah.
So they are boomers, not like the nasty boomers that like can't let go. Like those two retired. Like they can. They're like, we're gonna die in this house. We deserve it. We had a house fire here, and we deserve it.
Well, I'm glad it was entertaining for you at least, because
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, was this episode boring.
Yeah.
That's how I felt, Tyler.
So we had our group date. And it was them like going around like eating stuff like Vegemite and like cheese and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know that Australia had that many different foods, and like we didn't eat the like the fairy bread. Like that's what I always think about is like when they put like butter and like sprinkles on Wonder Bread, and that's like a dessert for them. Like they didn't even give them that. And that's what I'm thinking about. Like, I used to watch Australian Survivor because, like, I love Survivor, and then it just so happened that I fell in love with Australia and, like, what they do and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And they have, like, food that, like, we weren't trying. Like, they were trying something that was, like, a Mexican parm, and I was like, "What the fuck is a Mexican parm?" And I looked it up, and it's literally a chicken parm with, like, salsa and, like
Whoa.
like, I don't know.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Like, I
Yeah,
guess,
I
like,
might.
taco stuff on top, I don't know. It looked good.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. But anyway, my dad does not really like Jen, and it had everything to do with her voice. She
I
I
love
can
Joy.
understand that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like her, like, tone of voice or it's like when she's like, "How did that," like, he, like imitated her for a second. 'Cause it's just like he's like it's like bubblegum pop. You know
Yeah, I
what
was
I
gonna say
mean?
it's very, like, bubbly and, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so he was like, "I don't know, it just feels not right."
It's a little fake.
Yeah. I would like to give a shout out to Sam N, who can't have dairy, and they all kept trying to offer him food, and he's like, "I can't have dairy, I can't have dairy." I've never related to something so hard in my life. I cannot tell you. You can tell someone, "I can't have dairy," and the next time that the food comes out, they'll be like, "Oh, aren't you gonna have one?" And it's like, "I can't have dairy." And I promise you, when we go to the next food item, they will do it again, okay? I have never related to someone so hard in my life. It's like people do not understand what dairy is or something like that. And so they just constantly offer it to you. And it's like butter, milk, cream.
Laura, I wrote down 4 things, and one of the things was the very last thing I wrote down was, "I bet Laura will relate to Sam N about the dairy."
I did. I did. And it was him like it was him having to say it like the 6th time to like Grant when like Grant was like, "You want one?" And he's like, "I can't have dairy." It's like,
Just Jesus Christ, dude. I can't fucking have dairy.
I was like, yo, the way that that hit deep in my soul, I was like, I have to say something because it was so relatable for me. I don't know what people's problem is, but when you say I can't have dairy, it like doesn't register what dairy is or something. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like because it's not a milk glass sitting in front of you that they don't think like butter and like it's hilarious. It's like, are you kidding?
If it's not milk,
Um,
it's not dairy.
yeah. It's like, oh my god, and it's every time. It's every time. I can't tell you. I once was in Amsterdam and I tell them I can't have dairy. And they're like, "Oh, okay, okay." She comes back with a coffee and it has regular milk in it. And like luckily, like I like can't have dairy like that, like because it'll send me to the hospital, like type of sick. And so I was like, at that point, like now I could have some dairy and I'd probably just get sick, but I would probably survive. But back then I probably wouldn't have. And so it's not being dramatic, like I like it's so um and so she brings me it and I like smelled it and I was like, "Is this real milk?" And she like looks at me. I was like, oh no milk." And she goes, "Oh, allergic to dairy." And I was like, "Yeah, allergic." Or she said allergic to milk. I was like, "Yeah, allergic to milk." She goes, "Oh, okay." And it's like leaves. It comes back and she goes, she had like 2 things. 'Cause, like, it was clear that she didn't realize what I was saying,
Yeah.
and when she said allergic to milk, and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Oh," and, like, she, like, freaked out because she, like, realized what she did, and she, like, ripped it from me. She comes back with, like, these 2 little things, and she goes, "Almond?" Oh, I was like, "Perfect." She's like, "Cool."
Yay.
She, like, gave it to me, she's like
I love that.
Yeah, there's so and, like, I get that that was, like, an Amsterdam, like, thing, and, like, we speak different languages and stuff, but that I mean, it happens that happens here.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I say, like, "I can't have butter, cheese, anything like that," and then they'll give me a bacon, egg, and cheese. And I'm like, "Turkey bacon and just egg, and don't cook it with butter, please."
Yeah.
Oh, anybody that like puts it like doesn't listen and like gives it to me wrong, like I will not go back there again. I'm like, you don't care. You're gonna
Yeah.
hurt me. You're
I
gonna
don't
hurt
blame
me. So then Devin ends up stealing her for like one-on-one time. My mom instantly did not like him. She was like, right. So then they get over to the comedy club and they do this thing where all the guys do like the roasting or whatever, and they all roasted the shit out of Devin. And Devin like doesn't understand why they're roasting him. And Jen is like, oh, he must just be an easy target. I was like, no, they find him annoying. It's not that he's an easy target. It's that they find him annoying.
And he's so annoying, guys. He's so fucking annoying. I couldn't stand him.
Oh my god, as the episode kept going, my parents were like, she better not give him a rose. And I was like, Mom, I have to be for real with you. They're gonna give him a rose. And she was like, for what reason? And I said, because every story needs a villain and there's the drama. And she goes, oh, I get it.
I did put a Devin's given villain energy and I'm for it.
I don't like the guy. I hate him.
I don't like him either, but he was entertaining at least.
Oh yeah, he's entertaining. Like we do need to keep Devin around for a little bit.
Like the dude fucking showed up again with ice cream. Like
oh my god, we'll get there because my mom during this entire thing is watching it and this is what drives her out of the room. Like she ends up going outside with the dog because she's like, I can't do it. So we get to the night portion of the group date and my mom immediately goes, who put her in that dress? I said, Mom, thank you so much. They were like,
my God, yeah.
My mom was like, did they dress her this horribly the whole time? And I told her about the boobs and she was like, they don't know how to like dress real boobs. I was like, no, they don't.
This one was bad. This one,
like my mom was like, I do not see this girl ever wearing that outfit, especially with that like frou little feather like boa thing. She's like, that girl's never wearing that, like would never pick that out a day in her life, and you can tell.
Yeah.
My mom was very upset at how they dressed Jen. I told them to tell me how they felt about John, and my dad said, ew.
Oh.
And my mom was like, I don't know. I guess he's okay. And I was like, the smile is fooling her as well. She fucking hated Aaron the entire time.
Same.
She couldn't shut up about how much she hated the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, when Aaron's standing there with the pearl necklace.
Oh my god, the pearl necklace.
The two of them couldn't let it the fuck go. The two of them couldn't let the synthetic pearl necklace go. When the one guy was like, what did he say? He said something like, yeah, he's out here with his pearl necklace. My mom was like, yeah, I would make fun of his pearl necklace too, because Jesus Christ, why are you doing that? My mom was like, you're on national television and you're like, I'm gonna wear a string of like synthetic, clearly fake pearls. Like, are you kidding me? My mom was so mad. My mom, and then it like zoomed out and you could see his giant gold watch, right? So he's wearing the pearls and like whatever. And like at this point, she's already has had enough of him. And she goes, that's the guy that everybody hates at work. You know what I mean? Like that's the guy that everybody hates, that he like walks into a room and like you deal with him and then he walks out and everybody looks at each other like, oh, thank God he's gone. Yeah. That's what my mom was like. That's that guy.
And no, he was on one this episode.
He was.
Like, the insecurities this episode were like so fucking strong, and I'm like, it's way too early for y'all to be this jealous.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god. Yeah. So let's get into Devin saying he's not going to interrupt anybody, and he's going to give everybody time, right? Or is that the cocktail party? That might be the cocktail party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so Devin comes in and interrupts somebody's time and has ice cream. It's Aaron's time and he has ice cream. And Aaron's like, no. And he's like, well, I'm not really asking, I'm telling. And he's like, okay, sounds great. So Aaron leaves. And as Aaron's leaving, my mom is yelling, why would you leave? I would have been like, well, you can leave it and she can eat it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay here. Like, my mom was like, I would not have given up that spot that easily. Like, she was like, I would have like literally been like, well, I guess you can leave the ice cream and she can eat it, and you can like hang out for another 5 minutes out there, and I'll come get you when we're done. How about that? My mom was like, like straight up, like I would have kicked him, like been like, nah, dog, see ya. um. So anyway, so my mom was like, as this is happening, right? They're going like back and forth. Um, they're going back and forth. What? Devin interrupts them, and then Aaron, and then that's what happened. Jeremy did the producer's jobs. So I wrote it down because that's what happened. So Aaron's there talking. Devin comes in and interrupts him. Aaron's pissed, so Aaron goes outside. Aaron starts talking to Jeremy. And Jeremy's like, well, why don't you just go in there and interrupt them? And I was like, there's Jeremy being a producer. Like, he literally said what a producer would tell him to go do and just said it like, you should go in there and interrupt it.
Yep.
And so he does. And so Aaron goes in and interrupts them and says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to take my time back. And he was like, well, no. And he was like, well, I'm not really asking, I'm telling.
Just said the same fucking thing back. It's like, come on.
So then Jenn is like, what the fuck? And Aaron has the audacity to say, I'm not trying to put you in the middle. And she goes, I'm in the middle. So then all of a sudden, Devin shows back up. And my mom at this point is going, oh my God, get rid of the psychopath. You'll never get rid of him. You're going to try and break up with him and you're never going to be able to. Like, this is a psychopath.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
My mom says he doesn't know his place. My mother says that about Devin. She goes, that man doesn't know his place. And I was like, and that is the woman who raised me. So then all of a sudden, she starts making out with Devin. And my mom was like, this is creepy that we have to watch this. And my dad was completely embarrassed to be watching the show.
Should have told them
Then
about the Golden
Grant gets
Bachelor.
what?
Should have told them about the Golden Bachelor.
I did. I did. So Grant ends up getting the group date rose. Marcus ends up getting a one-on-one. My mom was like not thrilled with him at all. This is the moment when my parents have now pretty much left. They go skydiving. This is like really what drives them out of the room. They go skydiving, Marcus and her. And they go skydiving down. And they like kiss or like they do something, and my dad is like, nope, I'm embarrassed for these people. Like, I'm embarrassed to be like that these people are on the show. So then they go skydiving and they start making out. And as they're skydiving, my dad is like telling me, like, what is everyone here to just like have sex with each other? Like, what are we doing here? And I tell him about fantasy suites, and he goes, does he have sex with all three of them? And I was like, sometimes. And he goes, they have sex with all three of them like that? And do they all know? I was like, I mean, that's what they sign up for. And he goes, how many people have sex with all three of them? I was like, well, sometimes they only have sex with like the person that they're going to pick. And then other times, like you have people like Caitlin Bristow came out and said like I had sex with all three of them. And he was like, oh my God. So he can't believe it at this point. He's like, what are we doing here? Right. And so they start making out. And my dad goes, well, they're going to have sex right here. Why are we waiting for fantasy suite?
Because they don't let them.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. And at that point, he says, I've had enough. And him and my mom go outside with the dog. So they're not there for the night portion. Night portion goes on. Turns out Marcus got like really fucked up in Afghanistan. Like he got like really fucked up. Number one, I couldn't believe that he was talking about it on the television show. Because that's some like deep-seated trauma. Like he got like.
Didn't
So
he kind
I
of
think
like start talking about it last episode?
Yeah, I think like in his little
thing.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called.
Well, I'm happy that he seems to be past it because I would be traumatized for life. So apparently, like the guy in front of him, like because they don't exactly say it, and he doesn't exactly say it, and I'm not going to pry for information. I don't think anybody should. So, from what I've gathered, he his friend stepped on a mortar and it blew up, and he just so happened to have been standing basically right next to it. Good morning.
Dogs up.
She looked right at me. She woke up and looked right at me. And so basically he was near it, and so he ended up kind of getting blown up too.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you kind of look at his, I wonder what happened, but if you kind of look at the side of his head, it seems that he might have a little indentation or something.
Interesting.
I have to look at it again because I didn't really get a good look at him after I realized what was going on. But it looks like that there's something weird with the top of his head. I know someone that actually got blown up in the same way, and he has a giant scar all the way around his head from the multiple surgeries that he had and stuff like that. So it's very common for head injuries. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And he's perfectly fine. He walks normal and everything like that, and so does Marcus and everything. Everything's fine. But yeah, he said that he was getting all these surgeries and stuff like that, and I was thinking about the guy that I knew, and I was he got fucked up.
Yeah.
That poor guy actually. I know we made jokes about him being a January 6th and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, that poor man.
Yeah.
That is horrible and atrocious. I am so sorry actually.
Yeah.
What?
I just said yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the end of their date. Then we go on to, he ends up getting a rose because who wouldn't give somebody a rose after you said that? I would too.
Yeah. Regardless
so
of what you feel for him, just give him this.
Yeah. I can't believe you said that. Here you go. Stay another week. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a great person. Thank you. Here's a rose. Everybody should have given that guy a rose.
Yeah.
So, then we end up having the second group date, which is a photo shoot. My mom fucking hated Thomas N. My mom hated him from the moment she saw him. He came on the screen and she was like, he's irks me. Sam M, not to be mistaken for the other Sam M comes on the screen. She's like, I hate him.
Oh yeah.
I said we kept questioning where he was on January 6th, and she goes, I think that's a good question.
Yep.
The way my dad never came. My dad really didn't come back until toward the end. And so my mom came back in and stuff, and we were watching Hakeem with the spider.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the funniest thing I will probably see this season. How funny was Hakeem with that spider? He sees it. And right before, it said on his little blurb underneath of him, shouldn't have told us he was afraid of spiders.
Yep.
And the spider comes out and his eyes basically bug out of his head. He's like, okay. So he does it. He does it. He does in fact let the spider crawl up his arm, and as the thing's crawling up his arm, he's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
And the picture actually came out really well.
Yeah, he's like and it starts crawling up his arm, and it gets up to his shoulder. And he's like, don't let it get on my fucking neck. Don't let it
Yeah.
Crawling down his back. It's not going to your neck.
And the guy is the handler's trying to get him, and he's like, don't let it get on my fucking neck.
And Jen's talking him down. She's like, it's not gonna touch your neck. It's not gonna touch. It's okay.
It's on your back. It's on your jacket. And he's like, it's on my back. It's on my back. And he gets the spider, and he's still freaking out, and he's like, we got the shot, it's good. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. I thought that was so funny. And he did it, and my mom kept saying that. My mom was like, he deserved a rose because no matter what, he did it. It was up his arm and off of him as fast as it could be, but he did it.
Yep.
I would have also been freaking out about a spider like that.
Yeah. I'd rather
I
have
don't
that
do
one
bugs.
than a tarantula, but
True.
yeah.
True. That's very true. Those spiders aren't venomous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dylan ends up getting the one-on-one portion. I don't know. I don't know anything about Dylan. I actually didn't see Dylan until he ends up getting the one-on-one portion of it. And I
A
was like,
medical student.
he's the medical student. Okay, I do know who he is. Okay. I didn't really have much to think about them. And it's fine because we have Aaron who wants to talk to Devin again. To which my mom is going, and for what fucking reason?
Yep.
My mom is literally saying, and for what fucking reason? Why are we accosting this man again? Like, my mom is like, my mom was beside herself. So he ends up telling him about himself. And Devin's like, sounds great, dude. Bye. Says, I'll respect your guys' time. They take that as you're not going to talk to her. He said, that's not what I said.
It isn't what he said.
It isn't what he said. So, cocktail party happens. Devin takes her immediately. All the boys are pissed. Thomas N decides that he's going to break the two of them up and decides that what he's going to do is he's going to come in and talk to Devin first. My mom is going, why are you talking to Devin? And I'm sitting there going, why are you talking to Devin when Jen's right there? Like, why aren't we just talking to Jen?
Yeah.
Like, I will never get over the fact that we have pulled Devin aside to yell at him in front of Jen instead of just talking to Jen.
I had the
Who's
worst
just sitting
secondhand
there.
embarrassment.
Yeah.
I will never understand that.
He's Braden, but more entertaining. Like everybody
Yeah.
just wants to focus on him for some reason. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not what this is about.
Yeah. And like, is he annoying? Yes. Is he obnoxious?
So
Yes.
annoying,
But like,
yes.
you need to like mind your own fucking business.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I started cracking up because Devin ends up saying at one point, I went first so my boys didn't have to be impeded on. It's like, dude. So then Thomas N is sitting there talking to Jen, and he's like, you know, Austin was going to be the first person to talk to. We had this whole like system, we had a whole line, whatever. And she goes, well, why are you taking it out of my hands? And like, this doesn't feel like an independent experience. Like, why are you like saying who I can and can't talk to? And I'm like, good for you, Jen.
Yep. The way we all loved Thomas N until
I know,
like,
and like immediately is like,
Oh.
wow, you're so annoying.
Yeah. Like you're such a little bitch, dude. Like just go.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was horrible. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So he ends up going and being like, I fucked up. And it was like, you did. You really did. So then Sam M starts talking to Jen. And as soon as Sam M opens his mouth, when I tell you, because my dad has come back at this point, when I tell you that my mom and dad turned and looked at each other like Jim looks at the camera. Like, I don't know what person they know that like reminded them of Sam M, but at the same moment they looked at each other. Like,
love that.
My dad then starts, because now my dad has come back and now my dad is like watching these people make out and stuff. So he's just, my dad was hilarious. He basically says, she starts making out with Jonathan, and my dad goes, is this how she could tell who a good guy is? Like, we're just gonna make out with him and that's how we can tell he's a good guy. Okay. So then she keeps making out with people and I'm like, Dad, look. And he goes, you're never allowed to go on the show. Like, I know, I don't even care how old you are. I don't care what age you are. You're forbidden to go on the show. Like, it's, so Devin and Thomas end up fighting at the end. And they end up fighting outside, go inside. They're lined up waiting to get called by Jesse. They're still fighting. Jesse comes in. They stop fighting when Jesse's in. Jesse leaves, and then they continue to fight again. Like, like they never shut the fuck up. So people who went home, we have Marvin, who I actually liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was actually starting to like him, and so she got rid of him. I'm looking through Danielle's note. Danielle's a teacher, and so Danielle sent me a note, and it has all the boys and who got eliminated and all that stuff and what week and stuff, and so she coded it for me with little roses and stuff because she's a teacher.
Brian went home fucking finally.
Yes,
Been
Brian went
gone last
home.
week.
Brian went home, and whoever Jahan is.
I don't remember Jahan at all.
he
I can picture him.
yeah. I don't know how to really like describe him.
Yeah,
I was trying to
he's
think of
just
what
a,
animal he
like,
had during the photo shoot, but
yeah, like he really didn't. He wasn't there either episode.
yeah.
Yeah, but I can picture him. Like I know which one he is. So yeah, that's who left. We're down to 15 guys. We're still in Australia next week. It's probably going to be boring next week. Honestly, it looks boring.
Yeah. Which is surprising. Like you'd think like as hitting international travel right away would make it more interesting, but no.
I think it also has a lot to do with like my mom even said it. She's like, I don't think I like any of these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really what it is. Like the only guy that like I think I remotely like right now is Grant.
These guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
I
Like
feel
I think
bad for them.
Grant might be the only nice person here.
Yeah.
Marvin, but Marvin unfortunately is left. I would say Dylan's probably a nice person. It's just we haven't really seen a lot of him.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets more screen time. We actually get to see like who he is.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I can even think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode wasn't the best, in my opinion.
It was a boring episode.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna get entertaining probably like toward like as the season starts like going and all the shit starts happening.
Fingers crossed.
We're not flash forwarding to the end of the season, so that's nice. We just flash forwarded to the end of the episode, but that's
very
kind of
true.
normal, I think. So
it is. Yeah, so that's the episode. It was pretty boring. Next week, I'm genuinely thinking that next week's gonna be boring.
But we
and luckily we have Big Brother.
Yes.
Yep.
Stephanie, how excited are you?
I'm so excited.
The premiere's tomorrow.
I'm so excited for tomorrow. I don't know why I thought it was today, and I was gonna be like, guys, maybe we should do it a little bit early, but I realized it's Tuesday, not Wednesday. So
yeah.
Yep.
So you actually get to experience like a full like this is how our like move-ins used to be. Like it used to be split up into two. So like half the cast will be on Wednesday and then half cast will be on Thursday. And they already moved into the house and they've been there for like a day or two. And then we get the live feed after. So what we were getting was like live move-ins, so we were getting the live feeds right after because everything was live.
Yeah.
But this is how the move-ins used to be. So
I'm excited to see a proper Big Brother season then.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna be for real. I saw the cast and I was like, I have no hope for any of these people. I was like, I'm gonna be for real. I don't have a good feeling about a lot of them.
Didn't you feel like that last time too?
Yeah. Yeah. And it ended the way it did with Jag and Matt, so I kind of still feel that way.
Yeah.
Like I had Izzy,
she was like
but
justified in that.
Yeah, you're right. Actually.
I had Izzy, but like what else did we have?
Had Matt, Jag, and what's her name?
Felicia.
Felicia was fun. Yeah, it was Felicia, wasn't it? No. It was Bowie Jane, wasn't it?
Bowie Jane. Fucking Bowie Jane.
Bowie Jane. How could we forget?
Fucking Bowie Jane.
Fucking Bowie Jane.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's everything.
Seems like
don't forget to follow us on at Heart Garbage Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You have to leave it there.
Oh.
Yeah.
There it is. So don't forget to follow us. We also put all of our videos up on YouTube at Hot Garbage Pod as well. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Effects going.
There we go.
want the
Thank you
fireworks
guys
to
so much for
begin.
listening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And as always, stay trashy.